Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a Super George. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Latest updates on the legal issues, and there's a couple of them. I even got a little report on my buddy, Carlos the Jackal. Well, the Edsel, we call him, Carlos the Edsel. Anyway, this one is the U.S. District Court Judge Paul Borman on Wednesday dismissed the General Motors wide-ranging racketeering lawsuit against Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, which accuses FCA of coordinating a years-long bribery scheme with the UAW leaders to gain an unfair labor cost advantage, which they did. I don't know why he dismissed it. As far as I'm concerned, that's why they did it, or part of the reason, just to get some money. GM said it strongly disagrees with the court order and will pursue our legal remedies. FCA said in a statement, "We have said from the very outset that this was a meritless lawsuit." Yeah, right. The dismissal of GM's complaint with prejudice earlier today vindicates our position. No, it don't. You're not done yet, buddy. That was back when it was Sergio Marchionne. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the latest on Carlos the Edsel. Carlos Goshen, as we call him, Carlos the Edsel, insists his wife and 4 adult children played no part in his dramatic escape from Japan in a crate that was smuggled aboard a jet plane. But now the plot thickens. This guy is so cool, so clandestine. "I alone arranged for my departure," the former Nissan chairman said in January. "My family had no role whatsoever." But, according to evidence gathered by Japanese prosecutors, Goshen spent some of his final hours in Tokyo with at least one family member. His daughter Maya, 27 years old, who works in California, was in Tokyo for a little visit maybe. The two had lunch together the day he fled, before she delivered luggage to a hotel where she met with one of Goshen's alleged accomplices. Those two guys, here they are. Those details were included among hundreds of pages of travel documents, witness statements, and security camera images in Japan's formal request to the U.S. government for the extradition of the 2 Americans accused of engineering the escape of the Green Beret Michael Taylor and his son Peter. They want him. They want him. Goshen is now free in Lebanon, while the Taylors are fighting extradition from jail cells in Boston. So they're in jail in Boston, but Japan wants them. I don't know, what do? They give you a Japanese torture or something, get them to talk. Where's Carlos? Where's the Edsel? They'll find the Edsel. You got to find the Edsel. Oh, some sad things going on. General Motors said Chevrolet will end production of the Sonic this year, cutting the brand's passenger car lineup to only the Malibu and the Spark, in addition to the Corvette and the Camaro sport cars, of course. Chevy began building the Sonic at GM's Orion plant in Michigan in 2011. GM introduced the Sonic in response to political calls for a fuel-efficient small car built domestically after GM's federal bailout and bankruptcy. So they did that for the lawmakers that gave them the money that bailed them out. And you got to remember, all these other car companies are bailing out on the sedans. They're getting rid of the cars. Ford, everybody. Ford's down to the Mustang and a Fusion or a Focus. That's it. Everything else is an SUV or crossover. It's what sells. That's what's going on now. Here's another one going bye-bye. Lincoln Motor Corporation confirmed this past Wednesday, it will end production of the Continental at the end of 2020 as the luxury brand abandons sedans. Sedans are almost a thing of the future, guys. A future thing of the past. U.S. sales of the Continental, reintroduced in 2016, slowed in recent years as customers shifted to the brand's growing crossover lineup. Here we are. Lincoln announced this year it would end production of its other sedan, the MKZ, at the end of this year. Lincoln is investing in growth segments, and the brand will feature a full portfolio of SUVs, including a fully electric vehicle in the future. That was a statement by Lincoln last Wednesday. And here's another one going bye-bye. Three of them. Honda. Honda remains committed to its core car models in the U.S., but can no longer make an economic case for the Fit subcompact, the Civic Coupe, and the 6-speed manual version of the Accord sedan, all of which are being discontinued after the 2020 model year. Sedans going bye-bye. The HR-V subcompact crossover will become Honda's entry-level vehicle. Okay, there tells you what you got to know. It's everybody's getting rid of the sedans. The day of the sedan is quickly passing us. Quickly passing us. We got to take. I'm going to talk a little bit about the auto sales when we come back in a little while. But first, there's a story here about the Spring Hill, Tennessee plant. That's where General Motors builds its Cadillac XT5 and XT6, and of course the GMC Acadia. They employ nearly 3,700 workers. General Motors has eliminated the third shift at its Spring Hill, Tennessee assembly plant due to the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. This is from the company in the UAW we're talking about. They're laying them off. They're going to... Some workers will be able to transfer to other GM plants, was what the statement was, said by a GM spokesman. I guess we can get into this. Auto sales are making a big rebound in May and June. Huge. Everything is. Let's face it. We're coming around in May and June, but not enough to overcome March and April. And some of this stuff, these guys were down the tubes. Holy cow. Sales records in the first half of 2020 compared to the second half. Let me give them to you. Compact crossovers, down 23%. Full-size pickups, down 11%. Compact and mid-size cars combo, down 35%. The top three selling brands, Ford is down 24%. Toyota is down 23%. Chevrolet is down 19%. Unbelievable. Of the cars they're not selling anymore, and these are, a lot of this is, again, sedans, large cars, they're down 53%. Large luxury cars are down 51%. Subcompact cars are down 50%. Minivans are down 41%. Minivans. The soccer mom car. Two brands kept losses in the single digits. Two brands. Mazda is only down 7%, and Lincoln is only down 8%. I'm going to tell you, 5 brands that lost the biggest. Fiat, 52% of their sales is gone. Dodge, 42%. Nissan lost 40%. Mini Cooper, who cares, lost 39%. And surprisingly, Buick, one of the most popular GM cars out there, is down 35%. Those are the 5 biggest losers so far in the hit parade on sales. The hot rods, what do you want about the hot rods, Eric? The Mustang, the Challenger, and the Camaro. Mustang's down 12%. Challenger's down 23%. They're expensive, though, by the way. And the Chevy Camaro's down 43%. And that bad boy is really expensive. So let's face it. There's reason for that. The high-end vehicles, Mercedes is down 14%. BMW down 28%. Lexus is down 28%. Tesla. Why do they put Tesla with the high? Well, they're expensive, I guess. They're down 20%. And the Audi is down 25%. Audi's it's a Volkswagen. Give me a break. It's going to be interesting to see when the industry is back 100%. Who will survive and who is America, or is America's taste in vehicles changing? And it is. We are getting rid of the sedans and we're heading to the crossovers. As new vehicle inventory at dealerships goes down across the U.S., more shoppers are turning to used cars, leading to record high auction prices as dealers scramble to replenish their stocks because there's no used cars out there either. For the wholesale market, it marks a quick snapback from the steep decline this spring, of course. And while dealers now have no problem unloading vehicles at auction, obtaining used vehicles they can sell is now trickier and much pricier, more expensive. Cox Automotive reported last week that prices for vehicles sold at the Mannheim auction unit in June were the highest in 25 years that it's been tracking that data. Hello. Yeah, you know what? You almost missed the time to buy a car. Pretty soon there's not going to be anything you want at the dealer. You're going to have to settle if you want to buy a new one. You're going to have to settle for something you don't want. Why would you do that? Well, because you got to have a new one and nobody else has got one. And the used cars, they're going through the roof. There was a time early on when it was cheap to get a car. But none of the lease vehicles are coming back to the used car market. The 36 to 40,000 milers that CarMax gets and different dealers get, and then they get their junks and their trade-ins and put them to the auction and send them down south or something where they crush them. I don't know what they do with them. But the real market now is real thin because those leases are not up. The leases that were supposed to come up 3 months ago got a 3-month reprieve because of the virus. So you're going to sit until fall now before you can find a nice, slightly used car. Not hardly used, but slightly used. Here you go. Retailers of new and used vehicles nationwide received between $7.6 billion and $11 billion in the Paycheck Protection Program. I understand that one. Loans in the second quarter under the $660 billion federal program to save jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's what this was for, to keep them working, keep everybody off unemployment, keep them working. The government's going to pay you one way or the other. According to data released this week by the Small Business Administration, over 12,000 new car dealers collectively received $6.977 billion and between $7 billion and $10.5 billion in PPP loans. That figure represents about 76% of the 16,000 plus dealerships in the U.S. Yeah, there was 12,000 that got some 13,000, 12.5. This was all the NADA's data according to their count from 2019. In addition, 1,900, almost 2,000 used car dealerships received between $625 million and $1.53 billion. So the money's out there. The government kept them flying. They got the cars back to you. We're trying. I mean, the whole car business it's a trial and error right now. And I'm going to tell you what, it's more important now than ever before that when you go to buy a car somewhere, you know somebody that's involved with that place, somebody that can assure you that this is a decent car. It's not something we scrambled and put together to get rid of because we got nothing to sell. Because there's a lot of cars out there there's not a lot of cars out there. That's the problem. There's not a lot of cars. It's all coming. Autopilot, Tesla, the whole bit. My week would not be complete without a little story about my buddy Elon, Mr. Musk. Musk, excuse me. I didn't say that. Tesla is very close to achieving level 5 autonomous driving technology. That's what CEO Elon Musk said Thursday, referring to the capability to navigate roads without any driver input. Hello. I'm extremely confident that level 5, or essentially complete autonomy, will happen, and I think it will happen very quickly, Musk said. Yeah, after when people die. In remarks made via a video message at the opening of Shanghai's annual World Artificial Intelligence Conference. You know how I feel about artificial intelligence. I remain confident that we will have basic functionality for level 5 autonomy complete this year. That's what Elon Musk said in this statement to some car show, World Artificial Intelligence show. Yeah, right. Well, then meanwhile in Germany, Tesla's ads for its autopilot driver assistant program were rebuffed by German court, which said the car maker misled consumers, and he did. The Munich Regional Court on Tuesday ruled that the automaker can no longer use the ads in Germany because they improperly claim the vehicles have full potential for autonomous driving. They don't. The judges also said Tesla wrongly promoted its cars would be able to self-navigate in cities by the end of 2019. Using the term autopilot and other phrases suggests that cars are technically able to drive completely autonomously. That's what the court said in an emailed statement. In other words, Elon believes it and the courts don't. Germany said you're not advertising cars that way because people are looking at that word autonomous, self-driving, and thinking, wow, autopilot, I don't have to do anything. And then they're getting killed. So that's what happens. Speaking of bandits, this is my other favorite bandit. Fisker. Heinrich Fisker. Ha, you bum. This guy, Fisker, now, just a preliminary, you might want to remember he's the guy that took all the money from the Department of Energy loans and never paid him back and never made a car and sold his company to a Chinese company. And we haven't heard from him for a while. And now he's back. He's back and he's just going to... Here, electric vehicle maker Fisker has raised $50 million from hedge fund veteran Louis Bacon, with the money going toward engineering for the SUV it aims to roll out in 2022. So in other words, he's collecting money for a car he ain't built yet. We've been through this with you before, Heinrich. We know this, buddy. The Torrance, California-based EV startup was founded by Heinrich Fisker, who is best known for designing luxury cars at BMW and Aston Martin. He was. He also made, they say he made a previous attempt at an electric vehicle. They don't give you any details. Heinrich Fisker Automotive, the company that manufactured it, filed for bankruptcy in 2013, and its remaining assets were bought by the Chinese auto parts maker Wang Yang Group in 2014. Wang Yang? I don't know, that doesn't sound good. I'm just telling you, this guy Fisker, he's the... Here, Fisker said, or Fisker Inc. said is said to be in talks with the Volkswagen Group to use key vehicle parts, including a battery, in an electric SUV scheduled production in 2022. In other words, he's still talking to people, trying to get people's other parts from other cars to build his, because he has no engineering. He has no... He's a shyster, I'm telling you. The startup said in an investor presentation filed Monday, and that's my opinion, by the way. Solely my opinion. It has nothing to do with the radio stations or Facebook or anybody else. That is my opinion. Okay? The startup said in an investor presentation filed Monday with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission that it plans to use VW Group's Modular Electric Drive Matrix, or MEB, platform to cut costs and have cut in half development time for its debut model, the Ocean SUV. He has to hurry up because he's promising all these investors that put up $50 million he's going to have a car by 2022, and he ain't. I'm telling you, he won't. It will also adopt the automaker's battery technology to power that SUV. Fisker is planning to merge with Apollo Global Management-sponsored special purpose company amid a surge in electric vehicle shares. Heinrich Fisker is at it again, folks.